Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a place just teeming with life. A land that's seen empires come and go, a region so big its population just dwarfs most countries.
Yeah.
We're plunging into Uttar Pradesh, India. It's actually the most populous subnational entity on Earth.
What gets you immediately is that scale.
Thank you.
Well, to really get it, imagine if Uttar Pradesh is, say, 240 million residents. If they were their own country,
Right.
they'd be the 5th biggest country in the world. That sheer number of people,
Yeah.
it shapes absolutely everything there.
Absolutely. And it's not just numbers, is it? This deep dive, we're going to navigate through all the layers of Uttar Pradesh. We've got lots of information to draw on, to look at its history, which is long and really influential, its culture, its economy, and its political power, too.
It's quite a mix.
It is. Think of this as your rapid immersion, really, into a region that has profoundly shaped India's path and still does. It's a fascinating journey ahead. So maybe let's start with the basics. Lay the groundwork for this huge state.
Okay, so at its core, UP has Lucknow as its administrative capital. Although, interestingly, Kanpur is the largest city population-wise.
Okay.
Geographically, it covers about 243,000 square kilometers. That makes it the 4th largest state in India.
Right.
And the main official language is Hindi, but Urdu also has official status.
Yeah.
But like we said, it's that massive population that really defines it globally.
And that land, it's been a stage for history for, well, millennia. People often call Uttar Pradesh the cradle of Indian civilization.
And they're right to. That label isn't just symbolic, you know?
Yeah.
The fertile plains of the Ganges flowing right through UP, they allowed early farming settlements to thrive.
Makes sense.
And that stability, well, it supported the development of these foundational philosophical religious ideas.
Yeah.
Ideas that then spread across the whole subcontinent. So understanding ancient UP is kind of key to understanding India's long-term cultural growth.
And the mythological weight here is just astounding. We're talking Ayodhya, birthplace of Lord Rama, Mathura, birthplace of Lord Krishna, and Varanasi, Kashi, one of the oldest continuously lived-in cities on the planet. Just think about those names, the stories in the soil.
What's really fascinating is how alive those ancient roots still are. Ayodhya, Mathura, Varanasi. They aren't just history book entries. They are still incredibly important pilgrimage sites.
Still drawing huge crowds.
Exactly. It underscores this enduring power of faith and tradition. That constant flow of pilgrims connects today directly to that deep past.
It really does. Okay, moving forward in time a bit. UP became absolutely pivotal during the Mughal Empire. Cities like Agra, obviously famous for the Taj Mahal, but also Fatehpur Sikri, Lucknow, they just blossomed. The centers of amazing architecture, rich culture.
You can still see the grandeur of that era, can't you? In the buildings.
Definitely.
Then, fast forward to the British colonial period, and UP becomes this crucial center of resistance.
Right, the revolt of 1857.
Exactly. Places like Jhansi, Kanpur, Meerut, they were right at the heart of it. A real watershed moment in India's independence struggle. And that legacy, that resistance, it still shapes the region's identity today.
Which leads us naturally to its role as, well, a spiritual heartland. It draws pilgrims from everywhere, India and beyond.
And what's remarkable is the sheer variety of spiritual traditions that have flourished here. For Hindus, you have the Kumbh Mela.
The biggest gathering on Earth.
The largest, held every 12 years in Prayagraj, where the Ganga, Yamuna, and the mythical Saraswati rivers meet. Tens of millions of people. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
And the state is also a vital path for pilgrims doing the Chardham Yatra up in the Himalayas.
And it's not just Hinduism, is it?
Not at all. Lucknow and Bareilly, for instance, have long been really important Islamic cultural centers. They have highly respected dargahs like Dewa Sharif, and the Bara Imambara in Lucknow is just architecturally stunning. It attracts huge numbers. And we absolutely can't forget the Buddhist connections. Sarnath, near Varanasi. That's where Buddha gave his very first sermon after enlightenment.
That foundational moment.
Absolutely, foundational for Buddhism. And, while maybe less visible now, both Jainism and Sikhism also have deep historical roots in Uttar Pradesh.
So it's this incredible crossroads of faiths. And speaking of crossroads, let's dive into some of the key cities. What makes each one tick?
Sure. Lucknow, for example. It just screams Nawabi culture, doesn't it?
It does. The etiquette, the art.
That's the poetry, that unique architecture, and, the food, those amazing kebabs.
Tunde kebab.
Exactly. And the chikankari embroidery, that delicate white thread work, still defines the city.
Then there's Varanasi, a city that just hits all your senses, I think.
Totally. The Ganga Aarti ceremony on the Ghats at sunset. Unforgettable. The whole city just vibrates with this spiritual energy. You feel it everywhere.
Yeah, you really do. And Ayodhya obviously has been in the spotlight hugely recently.
With the Ram Janmabhoomi, yeah, the new Ram Mandir, it just reinforces its place as a central, deeply significant site for Hindus worldwide.
Then Prayagraj. Beyond the Kumbh, it's the actual physical meeting point of those sacred rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati.
A place of immense spiritual power.
Definitely. What about Agra, beyond the obvious?
Well, the Taj Mahal is obviously the global icon, synonymous with Agra, but you also have the Agra Fort.
Right, the red sandstone one.
Yeah, magnificent structure, gives you another powerful look into that Mughal past.
Okay.
It's not just the Taj.
Good point.
Yeah.
Moving on, Mathura and Vrindavan. That's Krishna territory, isn't it?
Absolutely. The heartland of Krishna devotion. Famous for the Krishna Janmabhoomi temple complex and those incredibly colorful, energetic, holy festivals. Huge celebrations.
I can imagine. In Kanpur, you mentioned it's the biggest city.
Yeah, Kanpur stands out industrially, especially its leather industry. It's huge. And it's also home to IIT Kanpur.
Ah, the Engineering Institute.
Exactly. A top-tier place for tech education and research in India.
And finally, Jhansi, forever linked with Rani Lakshmibai.
The warrior queen, yeah. Her bravery, its role in the 1857 revolt. It's etched into the city's identity. Each of these cities you see adds its own unique thread to this incredibly complex tapestry that is Uttar Pradesh.
That diversity, it extends right into the economy too, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Agriculture is still massive.
Yeah.
UP is a leading producer of essentials, wheat, sugarcane, rice, potatoes, feeds a huge chunk of India.
And dairy too, I think.
One of the biggest milk-producing states, yeah. Very important.
And industries beyond farming.
Definitely. There's a really solid industrial base. You've got Kanpur's leather goods, as we said. Moradabad is famous for its intricate brassware.
Yeah.
Firozabad for glass, especially bangles. And then textiles, handlooms, and Kannauj is renowned for its perfumes, the Attar.
Attar, right.
These all contribute significantly.
It's interesting how tradition and sort of modern economy seem to mix there.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because alongside agriculture in these traditional crafts, tourism is another huge pillar. Religious tourism, heritage tourism, it brings in a lot of revenue.
Yeah.
And that ties directly back to UP's history and spiritual significance we were just talking about.
And looking towards the future, it seems like UP is also a major hub for education.
Very much so.
Yeah.
You've got these really prominent institutions, IIT Kanpur, Banaras Hindu University, or BHU.
BHU, yeah, huge university.
Aligarh Muslim University, AMU, another historic one. And IM Lucknow for Management. It shows a strong commitment to higher education, advanced research across many fields.
And the intellectual environment, I guess it feeds into the arts and culture scene too.
Well, if you look historically, Kathak, one of India's major classical dance forms, it originated right there in Uttar Pradesh.
Ah, I didn't know that was its origin.
Yeah. And the state has this deep, rich tradition of folk music too. Forms like Birha, Kadri, Alha. They're really embedded in the rural culture and storytelling.
And the crafts are incredible. That chicken curry from Lucknow we mentioned.
Delicate, beautiful work. And then there's Zardozi, that opulent gold and silver thread embroidery.
Right, very intricate.
And the terracotta work from Gorakhpur is also really distinctive. These skills, they've been passed down for generations. Amazing artistry.
Okay, we absolutely cannot talk about UP without getting into the food.
Definitely not. It's a culinary landscape as diverse and flavorful as the state itself.
Oh, totally. I mean, the Tunde kebab in Lucknow melts in your mouth, and things like bedmi puri, kachori, so savory and satisfying.
Unforgettable flavors.
Uh-huh.
And the sweets, the peda from Mathura, almost part of the temple offering.
Yes.
That seasonal foamy dessert Malayo in Varanasi.
Oh, I've heard of that.
The street food classic Aloo Tikki, the Lucknow-style biryani, which is quite distinct. And just the sheer range of traditional sweets, balushahi, imarti, this unique thing called kirchan made from reduced milk. It's incredible.
And you're right, a lot of that food culture is tied to the sacred sites, isn't it? Like the offerings in Mathura.
Exactly. The food around places like Mathura and Vrindavan, it's really integral to the whole pilgrimage experience.
Which brings us back nicely to those key religious sites. Beyond the big cities we mentioned, there's the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, obviously. The ancient Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi, the Banke Bihari temple in Vrindavan.
Very revered.
Sankat Mukhan Hanuman Mandir, also Varanasi. And the Vindhyachal Devi temple near Mirzapur. Each one draws countless worshippers, represents these deep spiritual traditions.
Now, if you sort of weave all these threads together, the history, the culture, the economy, the spirituality, and then place it on the national map, well, UP's huge political significance just becomes undeniable.
It really is a political giant, isn't it? Sending 80 members to the Lok Sabha, that's the most of any state.
By far.
It means Uttar Pradesh often plays this absolutely crucial, sometimes decisive role in figuring out national politics. It's a powerhouse.
And, the information we looked at highlights this too. The state's been home, or the political base, for so many major national leaders who really shaped post-independence India.
Right, like Nehru from Allahabad.
Atal Bihari Vajpayee from Lucknow, the current Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, even Indira and Sonia Gandhi represented constituencies like Raebareli and Amethi.
It's clearly just pivotal politically. And there's another layer, too. Some really interesting developments pointing towards UP's future.
Yeah, what's fascinating there is this mix of tradition and really rapid modernization happening.
Like the bullet train.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plans for India's first bullet train station in Varanasi. The development of the Ramayana circuit to boost religious tourism even more.
Okay.
Asia's largest solar power plant is in Mirzapur district. And just the pace of infrastructure. Build out new expressways like the Provincial and Bundelkhand expressways.
Right, connecting regions.
It all points to a state that's transforming pretty fast, positioning itself for future growth. These aren't just small projects. It feels like a bigger vision.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's crystal clear, isn't it? Uttar Pradesh is so much more than just a huge population number.
Much more.
It's a region just packed with historical depth, profound spiritual meaning, an incredibly rich and diverse culture, dynamic economy, and this undeniable political clout that echoes right across India.
And that vast, multifaceted nature, it kind of leaves you with a compelling question, doesn't it? For you listening, thinking about this whole tapestry we've explored, what aspect of UP's story really stood out most to you? Was it the echoes of ancient empires, the vibrant spiritual scene, the arts, the food, the economic changes, or maybe its massive role in India's politics?
Yeah, what grabbed you?
And maybe think about what the story of Uttar Pradesh, in all its complexity, tells us about India itself, its enduring spirit, its fascinating journey. Perhaps, diving deeper into one of these threads could be your next exploration.